We're back with more Octopath Traveler 2. Masood's daughter. My father taught me that we should all treasure ourselves. Alright. Alright, I'll follow you. I'm gonna take your daughter, Masood.
As promised, I brought you your treasure, Masood.
You did you? Show me.
Your greatest treasure is her, your daughter.
Nope. Try again, boy.
Incorrect. Try again.
What?
It is true that many value their family above any jewel or gem. But that is not the answer that I am seeking for this particular test. Better luck next time.
Tarnation. I was sure I had it.
What is this test that father gave you?
Huh?
Ah, what father meant wasn't his treasure in particular, but what a merchant treasures most. The thing you treasure most as a merchant isn't leaves or sundries, right?
Yourself.
Merchant's treasure.
That's all the hints you'll get from me. Good luck.
Thanks, Masood's daughter. You're very cute. Sorry that your dad's a little
What
grumble
do
puss.
I treasure as a merchant? Like she said, not leaves or sundries, that's for sure. That's it. My greatest treasure is me. In which case, Masood must feel the same way, too.
His greatest treasure's out on me. I'm
It's
amazing.
worth a shot, anyhow.
Daughter of Masood, thank you for your cute wisdom.
You want to hire me? What is the meaning of this insult, Mr. Nobody?
I've figured out your treasure, fella. It's you, yourself.
Very good.
You asked me to find the treasure you value most as a merchant.
Not as a man.
I figured every merchant's got one treasure they set store by above all else. Connections they've built, book learning and experience. All these things are far more valuable than any material object, leaves included.
Nothing's more valuable than money, Patricia. You take that
Or
back.
am I wrong?
Correct. I'm surprised you got it.
Of course I did. My greatest treasure's the same as yours, after all. Besides, your daughter gave me a friendly push in the right direction.
So you cheated,
If I
eh?
couldn't find the answer after all that, I'd have no right to call myself a merchant.
You still don't. It took the greatest merchant's daughter to
I'm
help
honestly
you.
astonished that there are still merchants in this world who know how to see to the heart of matters. There have been dozens like you who have come here seeking my mercantile manuscript. Every one of them failed this test. and went home empty-handed. I started to think the world had gone dull since I retired. Here, take it.
The reading's all yours.
What's this?
The key to the archive in which I placed my mercantile manuscript. Read to your heart's content.
Yippee! You sure it's all right?
I've grown old. I don't have much time left. When I pass, so too will my greatest treasure, correct? So I might as well pass on a part of that treasure to you, Particio the merchant. The sum treasure of those who came before you.
You got it, fella. Thank you.
Alright, time for us to read the Mercantile Manuscripture. Where's Mercantile Manuscript in the archives? Never know what knowledge you might glean about items, equipment, and more. Demi-humans are creatures that resemble humans and yet are entirely different beasts. There are 8 major types currently known. The verminous ratkin, the reptilian lizardmen, the avian birdians, the amphibian frogins, the simian apes, the subterranean moles, the feline cay, and the cephalopodon octopuffs. Demi-humans have displayed a propensity for much higher levels of intelligence than monsters and are known as employ tools to some extent in their daily lives. And yet, to this day, their origins remain shrouded in mystery. According to the histories, they simply appeared one day, as if by magic, throughout the world. Cays are a skittish race, the most timid of all the demi-humans. According to myth, there was once a great war fought between humanity and the demi-humans. The conflict was long and bloody, but in the end, humanity emerged the victor. Through wisdom or foresight, the Kate alone sided with mankind during this strife, and this alliance won them a place within human society. However, the clever and cunning nature of the Kate soon earned them the ire of their neighbors. Before long, they found themselves ostracized and cast out, labeled as traitors by demi-human and human societies. The Kate withdrew from both to pursue isolated lives hidden away from all who might do them harm. The smell of beloved, delicious catnip seems to be the only thing that can draw them out of the hidden places they call their homes. Octopuffs are the most independent of all demi-humans and are the only ones that chose not to participate in the mythological war between humanity and the demi-humans. They are known to prefer travel to battle, and it is said that they only stop their wanderings when their time on Earth is over. There are many superstitions surrounding the Octopuff. Their passion for travel and idealistic search for paradise has led some to believe they are symbols of good fortune. There are even rumors that only those of pure heart can encounter them. Of course, adults who have long ago lost the innocence of childhood can still employ cunning to improve their odds of encountering these rare creatures. Octopuffs favor small, dark places, and so the shrewd use octopuff pots to draw them out. All demi-humans possess a certain modicum of intelligence. For example, ratkin are known to steal and employ human weaponry and clothing, and birdians possess the ability to craft primitive stone axes, and yet a burning question remains unanswered. Who fabricated the crowns and other ornaments that demi-human leaders are often seen wearing? As far as we know, the demi-humans do not possess the technology or art to craft such intricate accessories. More curious yet, both the make and material of these ornaments are clearly not of human design. So where did they come from? Where, for that matter, did the demi-humans themselves come from? This is merely a theory, without any evidence to support it. But perhaps these strange creatures hail from another world entirely? Ooh. Guarding the town of Stormhail in the Winterlands is a great wall, a colossal construction that has long kept the town safe from external threats. A local legend states this massive fortification was raised in a single night by the gods themselves. Sturdy and strong, yet intricate in its design, it is clear that this wall is indeed a feat of engineering beyond what modern civilization is capable of. The legend of this wall continues thus. The Great Wall is merely one small segment of some greater fortress, and the central citadel itself lies deep underground. Many archaeologists have spent years attempting to uncover this hidden redoubt to no avail. More curious is the event that occurred some 820 years ago. An enormous cavity suddenly appeared in the Great Wall, though no one knew who created it or how, later given the name the Pit of Darkest. It was the catalyst for the conflict between the fallen kingdoms of Fjall and Delstash. This struggle would later be known as the War of the Great Wall. The poet Kai penned this passage some 100 years ago. On an island lost in sea, split twain, lies a portal to an alien plane. Beware, be warned, ye fools who'd approach, for none should draw near this gate encroach. When Kai first published this passage, it was assumed this island was a mere figment, the product of a poet's overactive imagination. However, in recent years, Kai's less well-known history as an adventurer has come to light, and scholars have begun to debate whether his poems were not fantasy, but in fact annals of his travels. A warning for you who reads this entry. Though the existence of a portal to an alien plane seems preposterous, we must remember that what seemed impossible yesterday becomes more common sense tomorrow. Sneer at what you don't understand at your own peril, for one day you may find yourself on the wrong side of the truth. Damn. There exist only 6 primary weapon categories. Swords, polearms, daggers, axes, bows, and staves. Actually, this is not an accurate statement. Bound by the rules of the Blacksmith Guild, the manufacture of weapons outside of these 6 categories is strictly forbidden. Why limit the scope of human imagination? Religion, of course. The 6 weapon types are those wielded by the gods, and they will tolerate no other, or at least that's the lie disguising the greedy truth. The fact is, it's much easier to monopolize the materials and techniques for arms production if you can limit what can be made. Or so a little bird told me, anyway. Whatever the truth is, this prohibition has resulted in very few wielders of whips, flails, and so on. Among the many weapons one may find in this world, some are imbued with magical properties. These enchanted weapons are both rare and powerful. There are 2 primary means of crafting an enchanted weapon. The first sounds simple in principle, but is in fact quite difficult to achieve. Few craftsmen possess the necessary skills. Simply put, magic must be carefully folded into the weapon during the forging process. The second method is much rarer and harder to replicate. These enchanted weapons gain their power naturally. Their magic imbued over many years of use by a gifted wielder. Very few of those have been documented, and it is thought to be only those with incredibly powerful wills can make the miraculous weapons spring into being. What is ornamation? Literally interpreted like it refers to ornaments worn for fashion, like a big floppy garish hat. This assumption is a common one, but it is in fact erroneous. The truth of the matter is that true ornamation refers only to special jewels crafted by dedicated, sacred craftsmen. Only a handful of leaders are permitted to wear these ornamentations, partly because many of them are imbued with unique magical properties. Prime examples would be the amulet that protects against offensive magic, or a necklace that greatly increases the abilities of its wearer. Unfortunately, the knowledge and techniques needed to craft these potent relics are slowly being lost, and their rarity is only bound to increase as the sands of time continue to fall. To the victor go the spoils, a long-standing tradition adhered to by those who live by the sword. The stronger take from the strong, until at last the day comes when the ultimate warrior, the ultimate weapon, are united. When a weapon has triumphed over countless foes, remaining undefeated in the hands of a skilled wielder, it becomes what is known as a battle-tested armament. Nowhere is it written that these armaments must be a masterwork weapon crafted by a renowned smith. No, these weapons are forged in the fires of battle. As they taste the blood of innumerable mighty warriors, they awaken to a greater power that dwarfs that of their humble origins. The bards sing of legendary weapons passed down through countless ages. After untold thousands of fierce battles and stunning victories, they have acquired power beyond imagining. A sword can cleave the sun, a spear that can pierce the moon, a dagger that can send all stars in the sky tumbling down, an axe that can split the earth in twain, a bow that can transfix the heavens, a staff that can call up calamities untold. Of course, these are mere turns of phrase, exaggerations, no doubt. Still, very few know the true power of the battle-tested armaments. Why, you ask? Because most of these weapons have long slept in graves beneath the soils. In times of yore, the gods entrusted humanity with 6 divine weapons that they could protect themselves from evil. The Conqueror's Sword, the Warlord's Spear, the Dancer's Blade, the Lionheart's Axe, the Hunter's Bow, and the Spirit Lord's Staff. It is said that each of these weapons houses incredible power, and those who can unlock it earn themselves the title of Arms Master. And yet, divine weapons were too mighty for humankind. Driven by greed and ambition, the Arms Masters soon began to quarrel amongst themselves. One by one, these artifacts were lost, and with them, the skills and knowledge needed to wield them. Still, there are some who remember among these learned few. It is thought that the rightful heirs to the secrets of these weapons still reside in this land, passing their knowledge down through generations of chosen successors. Of course, this is more likely than not just an empty fantasy. Grapes, delicious grapes. They heal the body, while the tart juices of the plum revitalize the spirit. Those two restorative fruits are ubiquitous throughout the world. Yet there is a darker side to these innocuous-seeming treats. According to some myths, their cultivation was forbidden to man by the gods themselves. There are many tales why, but two stand above all else. Firstly, the devilish liquid called liquor, can be easily made from their juices, and the gods do not look with favor upon those who drown themselves in drink. The second most widespread story states that they were prohibited because of how easily they could be turned to use as tools of war. Whichever of these myths may be true, it seems that humanity has broken a sacred promise with the divine. The lychee, a succulent fruit from the outer continent that activates the latent power of an individual. Though its beneficial effects are well documented, it is equally well known for the difficulty of its cultivation. Many talented farmers and merchants have tried their hand at raising crops of lychee over the years, but none of their efforts have borne fruit. Meanwhile, a baseless rumor has long been made in the rounds of the cultivation community. According to some, the lychee must drink the blood of humans to produce its yield. This sinister story must be the cause of many tragedies, as the unscrupulous fools seek to write their fortune in their victims' blood. Because of this, the lychee has earned itself as an unpalatable appellation, the vampire fruit. Nuts, 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 the fruit of certain trees with a hard shell concealing a nutrient-rich meat and seed within. Nuts are enjoyed the world around as foodstuffs. However, not all nuts are created equal. Those harvested from some wild trees have powerful effects that are proven to enhance a human's abilities. Scholars have classified these as rare nuts, and have poured blood, sweat, and tears into cracking the secrets of cultivating these precious products. Yet little progress has been made. It seems the moment that cultivation is attempted, the nuts lose their special properties. The mystery remains unsolved, and so these nuts remain a highly sought-after and prized commodity. Concoction is the process by which two or more materials are mixed together to craft medicine. Legend states that what was Doter the Charitable who bestowed this holy art upon humanity, yet the truth is more impressive by far. Generations of healers have, through trial and error, discerned the medicinal effects of plants, seeds, stones, and more. They mixed, brewed, and ultimately tested their concoctions upon themselves, a testament to humanity's bravery and sacrifice in its pursuit of knowledge. Concoction, however, is not simply knowledge of ingredients' properties. No, a skilled apothecary must know how to judge a patient's symptoms and measure the correct amounts to treat their ills. As such, any apothecary able to simultaneously mix 3 ingredients is a master of their craft. And any who can mix 4 can be considered a genius. Though it's not impossible to mix more than this number, this monumental feat is almost unheard of. Soul stones are items which, when subjected to a significant enough physical shock, can unleash effects equivalent to certain spells. Though the exact process by which this occurs remains a mystery, it has long been hypothesized that they are stones that have been imbued with the power of spirits. Recent studies, however, have given rise to a new theory that has been gaining traction among the learned. According to this theory, soul stones are the crystallized remains of a magically potent monster's corpse. If this theory is true, then it may be possible for us to actually mass-produce mighty soul stones in the not-too-distant future. The question then becomes, to what use will we put this power once it is in our hands? Though I am excited by the possibilities, I also find myself terrified of them in equal measure. There are many afflictions which can plague a patient, and each requires a very specific herbal remedy. Confusingly enough, the herb used to treat all of the standard gamut of ailments is the same, herbweed. This useful herb's effects can vary greatly depending on how it is prepared. Taken in one sense, it shows how precious this medicinal plant is. Taken in another, it shows just how simple the human body's makeup can be. As a side note, herbweed can also be used to add a bit of zest to cuisine. How grand! Not only can it speed someone along the road to recovery, but it can speed them to the dinner table as well. In the arid desert sands of Hinoyuma, having a good water bottle can mean the difference between life and death. To better store and preserve every last drop of precious liquid, the people poured much effort into perfecting the art of bottle crafting. Among all of the many types of bottles, those crafted by the small Recon clan are the finest, manufactured throughout secret methods. They are unmatched in their lightweight construction and durable frames. Unfortunately for the Recon clan, their monopolization of these secrets earned them the ire and jealousy of other clans, eventually sparking a bloody conflict. Nevertheless, what the Raycombe clan lacked in military strength they made up for in brutal cunning. Their victory became assured after they hit upon the idea of filling their bottles with poison and flinging them at their enemies. It was thus that the defensive martial art known as bottling was born. Beastlings are tenacious hunters known to stalk their quarries for days on end. Their vocation requires not just skills at tracking and felling beasts, but at preserving the meat of their prey as well. The earliest developed methods of preservation were simple. Salting and drying were easy and effective. Eventually, however, tired of the same old fare, they were those who sought tastier techniques. Lava steaming, saltwater tenderization, underground fermentation. All of these were passed down among the beastlings, and over the centuries, this led to the development of unique culinary cultures. Nowadays, in the kitchens of New Delsta's most fashionable bistros, famed chefs find inspiration in the beastlings' innovative methods. Etymology of leaf as currency name. Herbweed, a miraculous plant known to craft every variety of healing herb. Its discovery revolutionized medicine and has saved innumerable lives, earning it the epithet, the plant of the gods. Unfortunately, herbweed is notoriously difficult to cultivate and only grows natively in a few limited regions. Because of this, as the apothecary art advanced, so too did the value and rarity of this irreplaceable ingredient. Eventually, this caused its price to spiral out of control. To curb this growing problem, various lands put ministers or lords in charge of overseeing herbweed production and trade, and soon the price of each precious leaf was fixed. This stability eventually led merchants and commoners and nobles alike to begin using leaves in place of other currencies. Disputable though this is, it is widely believed that the origin of leaf is a common parlance for currency that originates from this time. Oh boy. Southwest Philistia, where the desert sands stretch as far as the eye can see, and yet hidden among the barren dunes is an oasis, a strip of semi-arid terrain running north and south along the riverlands. Here the soil is fertile, and barley and corn can be grown in relative abundance. Countless wars have been waged over the water and resources of this region, and not few kingdoms have risen and fallen in place over the centuries. It is also here that legends of the priestess Hinoe Kagura, the conjurer goddess, have survived and been passed down. It is these tales that lend this land its name, Hinoeuma. In the eye of the desert sits Sai, a fortress city once known as the Orochi Bastion. Once held by the forces of U, it was taken by Ku 2 decades ago. Northwest of this can be found Ryu, a well-known traveler stop where information from all across the world eventually settles. One might be surprised that so many blisteringly short names like Ku and U are common to the desert regions. Locals say the propensity for brevity is because the longer the mouth flaps, the more sand finds its way in. But the truth of the matter is unknown. Northwest Philistia is a barren wasteland, a blasted expanse of volcanic rock that resists even the loneliest blade of grass. The few brave souls who eke out their existence here have long suffered the sulfuric whims of Fiatsudo and its unstable neighbors, and yet life always finds a way. Among the rock and stone dwell the goat, an unusually large breed of goat, who subsist on a meager fare of local weed. Unlike other goats, they exceed bovines in their capacity for producing milk, grow fleece more suitable for cloth than sheep, and even produce extraordinarily flavorful meat as well. In all matters of livestock, they outstrip the competition, and so have become known as the jewels of the wastelands. The cheese produced from their milk is especially scrumptious, and has become a local specialty. As a final note, the volcanic soil conceals a wealth of valuable minerals. Many small mining towns have sprung up here, including the southern town of Orsrush, established by silver merchants Pap and Rock. Western Philistia is home to the Chaz. I love Chaz. Western Philistia is home to the small lakeside kingdom of Timberrain. Surrounded by great sweeps of verdant forest, this land is rich in natural resources. Thick woodland loam provides fertile ground for agriculture, and the seemingly inexhaustible supply of trees fuels industries such as lumber and paper manufacturing. The small village of Cropdale is famous for its raspberries and peaches, and its fruit pies are widely known to be especially scrumptious. That being said, this rural settlement has an abundance of peach-centric cuisine. Peach jam, peach juice, peach salad, peach soup, sautéed peach, fried peach, peach pilaf, steamed peach, to name just a few. Some might say Cropdale has an overabundance of peach dishes, but that is simply because the locals just can't decide on a favorite. In the south of this area, one can find the town of Wellgrove. Though it has grown wealthy through a brisk trade with the resource-poor desert regions further south, the disparity in wealth this has created is the seed for ceaseless conflict and turmoil along the border. Southern Cilicia is home to long tracts of twisting coastline along which one can find the bustling port of Canalbrine. During the Age of Exploration, roughly 100 years ago, ships launched from this town's piers would discover the sea routes that led to the eastern continent. Canalbrine's symbol is the colossal lighthouse, which guides ships from all corners of the world safely into its harbor. Erected roughly 20 years ago by a cadre of engineers who fled the destruction of U. It boasts a unique design. Special ore was used to polish a mirror sheen. Special ore was polished to a mirror sheen and then fashioned into a reflector plate. And the light emits can now supposedly be seen all the way in New Delsta. Today, Canalbrine's church is an important launching point for proselytizers and evangelists who come from the eastern continent to spread the teachings of the sacred flame. Oh, I need to take a drink. I haven't read this much back-to-back since I played the Trails games. Southeastern Cilicia is dominated by an ocean dotted by countless islands of all shapes and sizes. The largest of these is Totohaha, which was first encountered by continental pioneers 20 years ago. In its western reaches resides the Beastlings, a petite people with fluffy tails. On the east of Totohaha lies the town of Trapuhapu, which was established by the first continental pioneers to settle on the island. The harbor town's proximity to New Delsta caused it to be developed as a resort for the wealthy. In addition, it produces many luxury goods such as delicious coffee beans and now serves as an important stop along the trade routes between eastern and western continents. Since ancient times, the Beastlings have long referred to the northern of the two islands as Haha and the southern as Toto. However, ever since a local festival celebrating the ponds of family and prosperity of the entire Beastling race was established, the names of both islands have been combined into one, Totohaha. Eastern Cilicia is an urban region home to the continent's largest city. Blessed by warm sunshine and a pleasant climate, it soon became known as the Brightlands. Agricultural abundance caused the region to flourish, and people flocked here in droves. Wealth soon followed, and development soon after. Before long, buildings like theaters and game parlors were erected to entertain the ever-growing crowds. And now the light of civilization shines as bright here as the sun does overhead. At the center of all this lies the Brightlands' beating heart, New Delsta, established approximately 50 years ago by emigrants from the former kingdom of Delstash. The people gave this new home a name that honored their old. Finally, in the east of these lands can be found Clockbank, an industrial center that has prospered ever since the Age of Discovery. Northeast Cilicia, a land of mountains and hills, perched high atop one stony peak, rises Elfric Cathedral, the center of the Sacred Flame faith. Adherents of this religion's tenets have worshipped the sacred flame that the cathedral houses since time immemorial. An ancient record dated 1500 years ago makes mention of the sacred flame's veneration continuing since the misty days of the past. Even through the bitterly cold winter a century previous, the flame continued to warm the hearts and souls of all who visited. In both name and spirit, the sacred flame and its church are the divine lords of this land. At the base of the cathedral lies the town of Flame Church. Though its population is small, the townsfolk make a good living providing for the crowds of pilgrims who travel here to visit the cathedral. Northern Cilicia is a frozen place of snow and ice. Its capital is Stormhill, a mountainous city that houses the Sacred Guard. Established roughly 380 years ago, the Sacred Guard was the brainchild of Archbishop Kinchler. After the cold snap that assailed the eastern continent in the previous century, the order established its headquarters here. To this day, the holy organization's mission remains unchanged, to uphold law and order across the continent. It is said that Stormhill owes its existence to the guardian, Glacis, residing on the sacred peak, Altahe. It is thought that Glacis put an end to the cold snap that nearly spelled doom for all who lived here. Travel towards the coast and you will find the fishing town of Cape Cold. Great hauls of salmon, trout, mackerel, squid, and more are brought in almost daily. In addition, many who dwell here work in agriculture or textiles, and lately, a hardy species of cold-resistant barley has caused quite a stir. And finally, the outer continent. Okay. The farthest edges of the four corners of Cilicia are detailed on no maps, called the Outer Continent. The reasons why these vast stretches of land remain unexplored are many. Impassably high mountains and deadly currents, to name a few. Of course, in my opinion, it is less the difficulty of the task and more the indolence that has left these areas uncharted. Think about it for a moment. Ku is at war with some unnamed kingdom or kingdoms to its south. Immigrants from some unknown eastern locale walk the streets of New Delsta. Fruit from the west and textiles from the north are smuggled into our lands with abandon. The unknown is a place of magical appeal to me. What sights are there to be seen across the horizon? What strange music? What surprising smells? What fascinating spices and cuisine to tempt the taste buds? All of these draw my curiosity, but more than that, all offer unimaginable opportunities for a merchant with business savvy and a healthy wanderlust. I hope the leaders of our lands move quickly to pen maps of these mysterious lands in the Outer Continent. Outer Continent. A poor name for a universe of possibility. We are the prisoners of a tiny cave called Cilicia, satisfied by shadows cast by light that streams in from outside the walls, which confine us. And that is the entirety. Here again, at this hour, you're very passionate about your merchant studies. Yep. And there you have it. That is the entirety of the Mercantile Manuscript. Masood, the legendary merchant, has traveled the continent far and farther that can ever be seen. He's been everywhere, man. I can tell by the way you carry yourself that you are a skilled fighter. But the path of war is long and hard, and your journey has only just begun. Anyone who wishes to hone their swordsman is welcome at my dojo, regardless of their style. Let us train together, both in body and mind. I can do that. Giant's Blade, that's pretty good. Imperial Helm, that's pretty good. Am I gonna die if I try and mug him? You bet your butt I probably will.
I like my odds.
Especially if I'm already at 1 HP because I failed mugging somebody earlier.
Magia and greetings.
I'm dead.
This cannot
Actually, I think I could beat him. If I was at full juice, I think I could beat him.
Hand it.
Like that double flash did some solid damage, but lightning and stab.
Magia speed. Now then. Indulge me for a moment. Indulge me for a moment. All according to plan. I need a plan. Let me show Magia and greetings.
That was not a large amount of healing. No, don't double attack.
This one's for me.
Oof. That actually did a lot of damage. I don't like that.
Calculations complete. Indulge me for broken. This
bad.
one's for me. I'll just turn that around. I need a plan. Nota salvare. Indulge me for a moment.
Oh, command! Okay, I can beat him, though. Actually, a little bit more juice. Stone of Truth. Let's see. Alright. If I was an arms master, I'd probably just slaughter the crap out of him. Just hit him with the freaking Admonisher's Axe every time I need to. Okay.
Indulge me for a moment.
I almost had him last time too.
I need a plan. Indulge me for all according to plans.
Sweet, sweet.
Thinking time. This one's for me.
Oh, it even makes my healing items more potent. That's cool.
Now then. Indulge me for a moment. I need a plan. Indulge me for
That hurt a bit. Oh, I'm dead.
this.
Son of a...
Cannot be.
Why is he so fast? Alright, I'm making him an arms master. I don't know. I'm making him at least somebody who can wield an axe, I guess. Inventor can wield an axe. Inventor's pretty good. Who else can wield an axe? The warrior. The apothecary can wield an axe. That's pretty good. Alright, I just need some Imperial armor so I can keep up the heals, and then we got this now.
Him. I like my odds.
Son of a bitch.
Wrong.
I have to heal first. I can't believe I forgot to heal first. Dang it. Okay. Now I should have very little trouble.
I'll take that.
But watch, we have immense amounts of trouble, regardless.
I like my odds. Thinking time. Indulge me for a moment. I need a plan. Indulge me for a moment. Thinking time. Indulge me.
Okay, so...
Feel my wrath!
You're a fine tester.
I got physical attack up. That's not as helpful as I was hoping it would have been. And that can cause confusion. Son of a gun.
Try again. You're a fine tester. This wasn't in my calculations. Thinking time.
I'm gonna die again.
This cannot be.
I hate how Oswald has just such little base HP. I don't need Vigorous Victor. I need... Rise again. Lasting memory, price of power, equal might. Sure. I don't know. Like, I have to be able to beat this guy, right? I don't need to use the Stone of Truth if I'm not freaking... Yeah, I don't need to use the Stone of Truth if I'm not going to be casting my base spells that actually get intensified. I wish it intensified Elemental Augment or Elemental Barrage. But alas, it does not.
For a moment. Thinking time. Indulge me for a moment. I need a plan. Indulge me for a moment. Thinking time. Calculations complete.
Big damage, big healing. Nice.
Indulge me for a moment. Thinking time. Indulge me for a moment. Pierce them. Wings of frost.
Okay.
Feel my wrath!
You're a fine tester. Now then. I need a plan.
Alright, big heal
This
here.
one's for me. This one's for me. Calculations complete. Indulge me for the growth.
I'm just gonna heal with the healing grape.
This one's for me. I'm not well. This one's for me.
Okay.
This wasn't in my calculations.
Feel my wrath!
Indulge me or you're finished.
Got him. Oh.
I've seen worse methods.
The annoying thing is, like, I was just doing that for my own pride, but the stuff I got from him isn't
Worthwhile.
terribly good for where I'm at in the game. So, it was just for my own foolish pride. Alright, Anyway, till next time, everybody, we are going to go into that solo character dungeon before we finish Hikari's chapter.